hands. Has he got the accuracy?
Hands to it. Did he get a free?
So Adelaide in control. Super quick. Absolutely explosive.
Runs to the 50-metre.
Hi, I'm Jade Robrin and welcome to the Crow Zone. Unfortunately, Port clipped our wings by 12 points here on Saturday night at Amy Stadium and they took away the bragging rights, but we're fourth on the ladder ahead of them, so at least that's something to gloat about. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get started on this week's show.
700 million people love the Crows!
Tidied up by Bode.
Goes in the middle of the ground looking for Clark. Bickley.
Crumb. James to put pressure on. Tawney. Wrapped up.
Up by Chad Corns. Play on. McGregor.
Burns forward to the play. Steps inside.
Bishop. Thumps it long. No one home.
Adelaide at 65 metres
Out. And it is bouncing through for a goal.
Rock and Ronnie's on the ball.
Bassett to Bickley. Around the
Body to 50. Some miscommunication between Biglands and Bode.
road. Biglands has got it now. Thumps it high inside 50.
John Cox there. Gallagher's
Is there. Spills to Peter Burgoyne.
handball missed its target. Laid with
35 seconds left on the clock. Back to Burgoyne. They're under
pressure. Port Adelaide. Play on for call.
no mark. Goodwin to John Cock. Twisting and turning from 50. Can Adelaide pinch one right on the siren? Wakeland. Here's Burns. Swings onto the left and kicks the goal.
It was almost inevitable.
McLeod involved in all of that as well. An opportunity for Perry. Umpire says played on downfield. Burns has already kicked free. Burns inside 50. He's got a chance here for 4. Swings around, decides to go.
By hand pass and Edwards. Hand pass and Edwards kicks the goal.
Here come Adelaide late in the quarter.
Lucky enough to be joined now by Adelaide Crows assistant coach Mark Micken. Rubbers, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Matthew.
Mate, a disappointing loss to the Power on the weekend. Your assessment on the game?
Yeah, I thought that a number of things that we would have liked to have done better. I thought the ball, especially early on, went in and out of our forward line a little bit too easy. And then for the majority of the game, we didn't use the ball nearly as well as Port Adelaide, and that was a real telling factor. And also, I thought their pressure on us was a little bit better than our pressure on them.
Ball with a little bit of momentum.
Just umpire had none of it.
A lot of things there that we can control and improve on. Went down by 12 points. Disappointing, but we certainly understand that we can improve and do better next time.
Those few areas you just mentioned previously, obviously key areas that we will be looking to improve on this weekend against the Kangaroos.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean there are issues week in, week out, and it's whether you win or lose often depends on whether how well you do those things, and they are issues that come up for all clubs at all times. And when you do them well, you tend to have a pretty good result.
Big game this week against the Kangaroos in Melbourne. I mean,
Both sides will be coming off losses, but very important to get a win to go 4-2 just to keep our head above the water.
Yeah, having watched the Kangaroos against Carton, I mean, they had their chances to win. They went down by a small margin, and it was a pretty high-scoring game. They'll be saying that they had some opportunities to win that game that they should have taken. They're not in terribly bad form at all, and they've got Rocket to come back into the side, and they play with a lot of spirit. They've got a "we'll never say die" attitude, and they're playing all right.
Obviously a big game this week for our number one recruit, Wayne Carey, playing against his old side.
Yeah, I think Wayne seems to just take everything in his stride and is able to handle it mentally, as well as anybody. And he's just a tremendous professional with the way he goes about things. And I wouldn't expect anything else from him this week. You just be giving his best shot.
Beautiful, Rubbers. Well, thank you for
Spending some time with us today. Best of luck for the weekend
against the Kangaroos this week. Now, we're going to go and
take a look at a very funny interview.
Jake caught up with our number one fan, Harry.
The mighty, magnificent best in the world, most beautiful Crows. We are the greatest football team this world of ours has ever seen. 17 million people love the Crows. And even people in China love the Crows. Formosa, Iran, Iraq, you name it. Bloody Argentina, Paraguay. I'm running out of bloody places to say. Bulgaria, you name it. Everywhere. Well, I was sitting there minding my own business. I had my mighty magnificent best and the world's most terrific crow's flag hanging in front of me. And the vermin woman came in and sat next to me, and she put her filthy hands on it and started to shifting it away from me. When she shifted it away from me, I told her, lie your filthy, rotten, Portonian hands off my terrific crow's flag off. And the vermin man was her boyfriend. He came around and smacked me across the face. Before I could smack him back, the bloody Red Cross came and separated us. So that's what it was all about. And then they nearly kicked me out. Not him. They nearly kicked me out of the ground. I'm pumped up every day. I'm sitting over there in the first row there. You can hear me screaming, 17 million people love the crowd. If you come to the ground, you'll hear that.
And show us your ring. Tell me how much you love them.
I love that ring. You put that camera on that bloody ring. That is the best ring in the world, and all the vermin people are jealous of it.
Well, he certainly is a character.
Is our Harry, and he's certainly an avid Crows fan. He's at every pre-season training and all of our trainings throughout the year as well. So good on you, Harry. You're a fantastic supporter for the club. Now, we've moved from outside. We're back inside in the rehabilitation room, which you saw on last week's show with Tyson Stengeline and Kevin Whitford. So we thought, what a better place to do the club injury update than inside the rehabilitation room. So firstly, Nathan Bassett involved in that bump with Sean Burgoyne, received some concussion. He'll have a test later on this week. Andrew Crow, who has a bit of a sore knee, he'll be another that'll face a fitness test later on this week. Rex Burton, who is still recovering from his ankle injury, he's about a month away. We've got Scotty Welsh returning from his injured thumb, about 3 weeks away. Unfortunately, from the SNFL on the weekend, Brent Riley, who was playing for Sturt, received a broken collarbone, and he's going to be out for about 8 weeks. So very unfortunate for young Riles there. And lastly, we've got Ben Rutten, who has a broken thumb, unfortunately, playing for West Adelaide on the weekend, and he'll be out for about 3 weeks. So that's this week's injury update.
Well, he may have been stripped of his #1 world ranking by Andre Agassi over the weekend, but I assure you the Crows won't be stripping him of his #1 ticket. I caught up with Leighton Hewitt before the showdown. Let's hear what he had to say about his favourite team. Now, Leighton, you became the #1 ticket holder this year. Take us through that. That would have been very exciting.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It's a great honour for me. I was a club ambassador before that. I used to always come over here when I was younger and watch the boys play, and I've grown up idolising a lot of the players. So for me to just be a part of the club in some way, that's a dream come true.
When you are in Adelaide, you get an opportunity to, you obviously go to the games, but you get an opportunity to mingle with them, have a chat and exchange, I guess, you know, little tips along the way?
Yeah, I do a fair bit. It's more just a general chat, I guess, and you know, if I can help out in any way, sometimes they can help me out as well. So, you know, it's fantastic, I guess, that, you know, top athletes can mingle and get along so well. And, you know, I had dinner with Andrew McLeod last week, and you know, it's just fantastic to go over and see how, you know, one of the best players in another sport handles this situation as well.
And he gave you a few tips too?
Oh, he gave me a few tips, but you know, I can't do much of those on the tennis court.
He received the jumper, the training Guernsey with the #1, Hewitt on the back, and they gave him #2 as well. And can you guess whose name was on the back of that? Yeah, Carton.
And you obviously get to see a couple of the games. Is that good just to be able to break away and get away from tennis when you're back home?
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. You know, I love to go to the games and in the change rooms with the guys, and you know, I love that team atmosphere, and I think that's why I play Davis Cup so well. And we don't, you know, it's a very lonely sport, tennis, most of the year. So you know, so for me to come together as a team in the Davis Cup 4 times a year, it's a fantastic thing.
Now, you're quite good at footy. I mean, we've seen you play a little bit for the Crows in the old game. Now, if you weren't playing tennis, do you reckon you would have gone this far playing AFL?
Oh, I've got no idea. No idea. I would have had to bulk up a hell of a lot more though. But you know, growing up, I loved playing football. It was my #1 sport until tennis really took over. And at the time, I was probably a little bit better at tennis, and then obviously tennis has developed now, and you know, I'm doing all right. So.
And just finally, you mentioned the racing horse. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I've got I own a horse. My uncle's a trainer. I'm part owners of my uncle, and had a win yesterday at Victoria Park. Just do it now, and it's his first city win, so I was pretty pumped about that.
17 million people love the Crows!
We're down in the Crows locker room now. We're going to take a look at some of the events that are happening around the club in our club news. But firstly, I'd like to introduce Lauren, who's doing some work experience around the club this week. She'll give us a hand ready in the club news. How you doing, Lauren?
Good, thanks, Matt.
Good to hear. All right, let's take a look at what we've got around the club. We've got the after-match function versus the Kangaroos this week. That's in the food court. Level 1, aisle 10 at Telstra Dome, so make sure you get along and chat with all the players following this week's big game. Now we've got the Melbourne Junior Coaching Clinic this Saturday, the 3rd of May, and that's at the D.W. Luke Oval, Moira Street, Malvern East, and that commences at 8 a.m. Lauren, what else we got?
We have the Batprince Footy Pie Night, Monday the 2nd of June in the Crows Shed.
That's a great event, that one, for all our registered Oz kickers, so keep your eye out for your application forms. They'll be sent out to you shortly. We've got the Melbourne Banquet Auction, Saturday the 7th of June at the Palladium Ballroom at the Crown Casino. So we'll certainly keep you up to date with those two events. As they come closer, we'll give you some more details, but a couple of dates to put into your diary. Lauren, someone celebrates a birthday this week. Who have we got?
Yes, Brett Burton turns 25 on Sunday, so happy birthday, Brett.
Well done, the Birdman. And lastly, keep yourself up to date with all the news that's happening around the club. Log on to the website www.afc.com.au. Now, we are lucky enough to be sitting in front of an absolute champions locker, and we're talking about Andrew McLeod, and he's a champion on the field but also off. Jade's going to catch up with him right now at a very special event.
17 million people love the Crows!
Now we're here at the Powerhouse, the home of the 36ers, but here on a different occasion today, Andrew McLeod is here supporting his favourite charity, the Starlight Foundation. Andrew, how are you involved and what do you do for the kids?
Well, basically, I suppose a bit of a patron in South Australia, and I just help out whenever I can. And yeah, look, as saying about helping out, I probably helped out a little bit a couple of years ago when I was fortunate enough to win a boat, and I had donated to the Starlight Foundation, and they were able to grant some wishes from it, which was great.
How rewarding is it to see the smiles on their faces?
Oh, I don't think that you can beat that. It's like the best thing ever. If you can put a smile on a kid's face, and especially kids that are having a bit of trouble and are a bit down, and yeah, once you see them smile, then I think they can melt your heart, and it's fantastic.
And how much involvement do you have?
At the moment, basically just involved in Star Day. Star Day's coming up, and yeah, it's about probably awareness and promoting it, and hopefully we can promote it and be able to get a Starlight Express room in Adelaide, further down the track, so that the kids can enjoy the full benefits of the Starlight Foundation.
You're doing a wonderful, wonderful thing, and thank you for joining us on Fox Footy.
Thanks, Jake.
The mighty magnificent best in almost terrific Crows.
Well, all eyes and all the hype will be on Wayne Carey this week as he prepares to battle it out against his former teammates, the Kangaroos, in what will be a blockbuster on Friday night at the Telstra Dome. Both teams are coming off a loss, but I'm confident we'll walk away with the 4 points. Well, that wraps up another show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jade Brobran, and join us next week for a special show from Nigel Smart's testimonial dinner. Go, you Crows!
Can get the distance. Has he got the accuracy? Hands to it. Did he get a free? So Adelaide in control.
Absolutely explosive.
Runs to the 50-metre line. And let's go with a magnificent goal. So Adelaide in control. They look to set themselves up.